Hey Flynn, ready for another Tales from the Bench? Let's go do that, and we'll take a look at what I got for Christmas. Hello Modelers Alliance and fellow sprue builders. I'm Eric and welcome to my first entry of my 2021 Scale Model Video Journal. First of all, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody, and I don't know if you're like me, but I am sure glad that 2020 is over and we can get past this and hopefully into a much better year than the last. What a crazy year, and looking for a little bit of more normalcy and calm, but not sure how that's going to work out, but we'll see. So for this entry, I thought what we'd do is I'll take a look at the gifts I received over the Christmas holiday, which were 3, and then maybe build one of them up here afterwards. So let's take a look at the first one that I got here. This is a soldering station primarily. As you can see, it's got an area for your soldering iron and for your water sponge. It's also got a nice little magnifying glass and some LEDs that provide a little bit additional light. Not great, but some. Also got some extra hands and a little vise for mounting to whatever it is that you're working on. I'm looking forward to giving this a try. I think there's a few things I can definitely use this for, and that will definitely help in the building process. So you'll see me feature this in some upcoming entries here in the next few weeks. Another item I got is from Tamiya, and that is the Handy Drill. Now, I've seen this around for a while, and I always thought it was kind of a toy-esque. Wasn't really sure if it was actually the real deal, if it's something you could use on modeling. But after talking to some close friends who have these, they say that these are great. So I went ahead and asked, Mr. Nick for one of these, and he was kind enough to bring one. It is a Tamiya product, so therefore, there will be some assembly required. So hopefully, once I get done with this segment, we'll go ahead and put this together and see how it goes. As for my last item that I received, this is my pre-order item from Copper State Models, the Italian Armored Car 1ZM. I'll be starting this one fairly soon, probably here in the next week or two, and I'll be featuring it prominently in the upcoming video journal entries. So stay tuned for that as well. All right, so that's what I got for my Christmas holidays, which was more than plenty, and I'm really happy that I received them. So let's go ahead and check out this drill and see if we can do some drilling. All right, so let's take a look here at the what comes in this kit, if you will. Pretty standard Tamiya packaging, looks like there. So we have one sprue. There's 2 in that bag, so there's 3 sprues of plastic, and then we also get a little bag of doodad connectors and other such things, and the motor as well. Looks to be fairly well molded. So let's take a look at the instructions real quick. These are typical Tamiya instructions, well laid out, flip out pages, but very clear and pretty easy to follow. There shouldn't be any issues with that. Looks like about 7 steps total. Well, 6 actually. Okay, pretty straightforward. So let's take a closer look at some of the parts here real quick. First one is the grade. This guy has the motor mount and some of the trigger assembly as well. And the orange sprues is the gears, one of them popped off, of course, as you can see. And then the blue one is the body of the drill itself. Pretty sturdy. Yeah, let's take a look at the accessories bags. You get a bag of screws, washers, and then you get a little tube of lubricant or grease or KY, whatever you want to call it. And then the motor. And then we get a couple drills and some chucks. And then here's a bag of other connectors for the battery setup and some gears as well. So for the tools you're going to need is laid out there in the instructions. You'll need some needle nose type pliers, some side cutters or sprue cutters will work just as good there. And then also a screwdriver set, my little handy screwdriver set. Alright, so let's get started building it up. We'll start with the motor mount, and that's what I'm removing here. And then attaching the first brass elements for the battery pack. This thing takes two AA batteries. The thing you want to keep in mind here is to make sure that they click or snap into place as the instructions indicate. Pretty easy. Here it is with the motor mounted onto it, and yeah, no glue or anything like that. It all clicks into place. Next big assembly is for the trigger assembly. I just want to make sure that it is functioning properly. There's a spring that's part of the assembly, so you want to make sure that it functions as it should, back and forth. There's like a little safety trigger, but that doesn't really work very well, so I'm not going to really talk about that too much. Make sure that the screw is fastened all the way and tight, and that the spring is shown in this L shape as you see here. There's a little tab for it, so make sure that the spring is fully seated down inside that, so to prevent any problems and stuff. I don't really have the screw tightened at this point, so I'm going to have to come back in and do that off camera. Next up is the gear assembly, as shown here. Kind of looks a little complicated, but it's pretty easy. Just make sure that you got the gears properly placed along the drive shaft for the main drill. And when you go to place it inside the body, you can see that there's cutouts for it, and everything fits in pretty easy. Pretty idiot-proof, as they say, and pretty simple. For this part here, this is the bottom of the battery connection point, so make sure that the trigger moves that metal plate there as shown here. Get a positive connection with that. Then lastly, we put in the motor, and that's once again very easy to do. There are some cutouts for it as well, and you just drop it in there. Big thing here, of course, is make sure that the motor gear engages that first orange gear properly, and you'll be good to go. It doesn't snap into place like some of the other parts, but make sure it's firmly seated. Then we close up the body of the drill with the 4 screws. Once that's done, make sure everything moves as it should, nothing got misaligned while you were tightening the body down. And then lastly, we'll install the 2 AA batteries, as shown in the inside of the handle there. And then once that's done, we'll close up the body with the little cover plate. There it is. And it should all work. So let's give it a little test spin. Yeah. Oh yeah. Excellent. Nice job. Pretty simple, easy. Real happy with that. Alright, so let's give it a little test and see how this thing drills. They got some scrap styrene there, so we'll just give it a quick look and see what it does. We'll use the bit that comes with the kit first. And, it's the standard, just slide it in the chuck and tighten down the collar on the threaded shaft there. Make sure it's good and snug. See how it does. And it's got a little bit of a wobble there at the end. Wasn't really kind of disappointed in that. I was hoping to be a little more smooth. So I'm going to try to drill this hole that's already exists there in the plastic. The bit's really digging into it, and it's jamming up the motor. Doesn't have a whole lot of torque, but it's pretty good torque. And then just drill a new hole. As you can see, no problems. Really really simple. I'm going to drill that hole out if it kills me. Come on. There we go. Yeah. You see? Yep. So let's see, you know, if I could do like I'll make a little cross here on the styrene, see if I can do like a precision drill on that. With that bit wobble, I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Yeah, as you see, it kind of travels a little bit out of it in the drill. So definitely want to use a pilot hole. I usually make them with an X-Acto knife, just a little divot, but that'll probably definitely help. So let's give it the ultimate test. I'm going to drill out this MG34 barrel using a handy drill, and we'll see how that does. And I'll use my normal technique. Like I said, I usually do a pre-hole or a pilot hole, if you will, on that, and then we'll drill it out. So get in there and make the pilot hole. Now let me zoom in here a little bit. You can see what's going on. Oop, there we go. All right, should be all set. Bring it in, get myself in frame. Yeah, all right. There we go. So I'll make a pilot hole with the X-Acto blade. A couple little twists there. Get it as centered as possible, and then we'll test it out. All right, here we go. Let's see. Slow and easy. Let's see what happens. If I can find it. All right. All right. It does do pretty good. With the pilot hole, really helps. It prevents that bit from wobbling all over the place. So it does work. The bit I had was a little bit big for it, but you get the idea. So it is definitely doable. All right. So that's the Tamiya Handy Drill. About $50. Well worth it. Low speed, good torque. Definitely got some uses for it. So I highly recommend this, and took me about an hour to build it, so not very long at all. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you next week.
Beer.